Hey everyone, David Burgess here again with Keller Williams Realty. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to this beautiful view behind me at Fort Hamer Park on the Manatee River, and it's a bit breezy here today, so hopefully you can hear me well. Every now and then a gust of wind comes through and the audio might not be so great, but on the whole, I'm hoping this video will be fine. But today's video is a resale market update only. We're not covering new construction homes, and I've got a new construction update coming soon, a market update coming soon, but today it's just real estate, resale homes. And we're really following on from my July video where I had the same market update. So I'm going to be going over my transactions from August to December, how much homes have been listed for, how much they've sold for, and that's as a listing agent and the buyer's agent. And I'm also going to show you the homes that I've missed out on, so it kind of gives you a bit more of the full picture of what it's like being a realtor on a daily basis. So I'm also not going to go over any stats with you. Things are still pretty predictable. Home prices are on the up, inventory is low. The other reason I don't see the benefit in doing that right now is that I'm like 6 to 8 weeks behind, or the stats are like 6 to 8 weeks behind. They only go up to October and we're well into, December now. But yeah, I'm gonna really just go over my transactions and how I see things shaping up as we come into 2022. So stick around, I will have all of this with you as well presented as I possibly can. So stick around, I'm trying to do this video within 20 minutes. Right then, so you may be expecting every home to be listed at X amount and it sells for way more than the asking price, but that really hasn't been the case on a lot of these homes. Well, I'd say a few of them at least. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of the best homes that we've sold for way over the asking price as the listing agent and the buyer's agent. But there have been some homes where they've just been listed too high or the market's changed a little bit. So starting off with this home on Leland Groves Drive in Riverview, this was a home with a pool, and it's a DR Horton home, so it's a little bit basic, but it had a beautiful view and a lovely pool. This was listed at $425. Now, I have to say I was kind of expecting a lot of attention with this, but we actually sold it at $419. We only had the one offer, but this was right as the kids were kind of going back to school, and in that kind of week in August, things definitely took a downturn. I think people were kind of over that summer hump where people were just kind of really fighting for homes, and it was absolutely nuts. And don't get me wrong, the best homes have still been like that in certain areas, but not across the board. And this home definitely fell into that category where it just wasn't, it wasn't one of those homes where people were absolutely wrestling each other for. So yeah, this one listed at $425, sold at $419. And in the same week, we listed this home on Holloman Drive in Valrico at $600,000. A beautiful property, this one, on the golf course, nearly half an acre of land, but the home was dated. And we just got one offer. We listed it at $600,000, and the offer was at $600,000, and it appraised fine, and we closed well. But again, it goes to show you that not every home is absolutely nuts at the moment. This next home on Poke Ridge Drive, this one we listed at $385 and received like 3 offers, and we sold it for $390. This was kind of in the September timeframe, so things have started to pick up after that kind of month of kids going back to school and the end of the summer holidays. Now this townhome in Avery Park Drive, we listed this one at $285, yeah, $285, and we sold it at $307,500. I was really happy with this one. I actually listed it above what the comps were suggesting, but it's a really, really nice townhouse, and I just couldn't see any other inventory out there like it. So I was ambitious with it, and we got some really good offers that were close to 300, but one of them went over at like 307,500. Seller was really, really happy with that. This home on Old Benton Drive in Waterset, this is a lovely smaller home in Apollo Beach. We listed this one at $425 and we just had the one offer at $425. Now, if you know much about Waterset and Apollo Beach, the lot is paramount, and this one was on a beautiful lot. But again, for some reason, we just didn't get the amount of offers we were expecting. Now, after this, we actually changed our stance a little bit. We always list homes on a Thursday, but we actually started to shift them to Tuesdays, because we would have people, like this one was a prime example, where we would have a phone call on the Friday or the Saturday. An agent would call and say, how many offers do you have on this home already? And we'd be like, well, none actually. We listed it on Thursday and we don't have any offers. And the agents would be like, what, really? You know, so things had started to change a little bit. So what we tried to do was kind of move from these Thursday listings where the craziness all goes, kind of moves into the weekend. And we started to list them on Tuesdays to kind of filter out basically just to kind of hone in on the people that were more motivated and willing to look during the week and the evenings, as opposed to the kind of open house and kind of people that are more looking at the weekends, but they're maybe not as serious. They're not pre-approved. Maybe they're kind of just getting a feeler for what's out there and stuff. So yeah, we shifted to Tuesday after this listing because we were surprised this one sold at the asking price at $425 and we didn't get multiple offers. So I'm still going against the narrative that you might have had in your head and preconceived idea of every single listing in this market right now. And the next home, Regent Garden Way, I'm going to shift gears here because this home had like 18 offers. It was absolutely nuts. Really spacious lot with a pool, listed at $375. Yeah, $375. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. And we sold this one for $410, and we sold this one to the local weatherman, which the sellers were very happy with. And this one had so many offers. It pretty much, it's a well taken care of home, very modernised, and like I said, beautiful lot, lovely view. You can see why this one got a lot of attention at that price point. So that was Regent's Garden Way. We then listed this home on Ivory Stone Drive in Waimama. We listed this one at $475. This one, there wasn't really that many great comps with a nice pool, but for a one-story 3-car garage home, we thought it would sell well, and we received 4 offers, and we sold that one at $500,000. So yeah, and then lastly, we listed this home on Aylshire Place, and that one we listed at $450. And we received 3 offers and sold it at $470. So yeah, $450 was the listing price, and $470 was the sales price, and that was via a VA loan. A vet come and bought it, absolutely loved it. We were slightly concerned if it would appraise okay, but it did. It appraised fine. But as you can see, and again, a nice private lot, a big spacious home. And yeah, sold very, very well. The one listing that we had a real downer about over the weekend was this one on a Mapple Bloom Court in Riverview. People can just be horrible at times. I'd say we had a cash offer, listed this one at $415, and we had a cash offer at $425, and the evening before closing, the buyers came in, did their walkthrough again, and decided they didn't want it. So they just backed out. They credited their $10,000 escrow to the sellers, but the sellers had moved out, and as much as they were happy with $10,000, they would much rather have sold the home. So now we're back on the market with that one, and when things go back on the market, things aren't as fresh as what they were. There's more days on the clock. People start wondering what's wrong with the home if it's gone back on the market, but nothing wrong with the condition of this one, or there wasn't an appraisal. So yeah, we had to put this one back on the market. But that concludes my listings over the past 5 months. So hopefully it gives you a great idea of what has sold, maybe differently to what you had in your head. So we'll now move on to my buyer sales. So yes, as you can imagine, working with buyers has been very tough the past few months. A lot of multiple offer situations, and it's just been hard. You've had to be on the ball and active, and when a home hits the market, you have to be responsive and there on the same day. That's been, it's pretty much always like that with me anyway. I never like to hang around and kind of wait a day or two to go and see a home, but in this market especially, you've got to be very proactive. So this one on Fox Squirrel Lane in Valrico in the beautiful River Hills. Bit of a dated home. It was listed by Zillow, and I'll get onto Zillow in a minute, but it was listed by Zillow as they entered the field as their own brokerage, and they were flipping homes. But this one was listed at 464,900, and we got it under contract for 460. So we got a few thousand off that one. Now Zillow were basically buying a lot of homes all across the country and selling them for less than what they purchased them for. Needless to say, it doesn't sound like the smartest business plan, and then they stopped that around 6 weeks ago or so. I don't know if they were just going for market share or what they were trying to do, but basically it didn't work out. But who knows, maybe they'll be back in the future. But yeah, I had so many people reach out and say, I sold my house to Zillow, and they've now listed it. This is in other states, you know, in the States here, but they said, yeah, they bought my home for 500,000 and they've just listed it on the market for 485. But anyway, a lot of people were like not understanding what was going on, but this was a Zillow listing, and boy was it messy. Honestly, it was one of the worst closings I've ever had in terms of the logistics. They were all over the place. The title company representing Zillow, the whole thing was horrible. But luckily, the family were lovely. He moved from Oregon, and the husband's very handy, and he's going to do a lot of upgrades in the home. But yeah, beautiful neighborhood, and inevitably, if he does the right upgrades in this one, the home has got a lot of room to grow because it's on the golf course and it's got a lovely pool and it's priced right. This townhouse on Moody Avenue, this is in downtown Tampa, South Tampa, should I say, and right by Bayshore Boulevard. It's a 3-story townhouse. This one was listed at 670. We jumped on it right away and got it under contract for 670. So yeah, buyers are very happy with that. Their work was like, they're working like a block away so they can walk to work. So yeah, I do love those Tampa listings. This one on Napoli Run in Esplanade in Lakewood Ranch. I did cover that in my previous video. This home was listed at 760 and we got it for 730. Now, this home is a prime example of pure greed. I mean, the listing agent was actually the owner as well, and she had this listed at like 850. Beautiful lot. It's a lovely home. It's the far east floor plan. Excuse me. It's the far east floor plan, and it's got so much potential, but she was just very ambitious. No pool, but like I said, beautiful view and an incredible neighborhood. The amenities there are truly fantastic. So yeah, this one kept coming down and down and down, and we looked at it, and a buyer made a cash offer at 730, and the listing agent called me and said, my husband says that we need to sell this home, and I'm not very happy because I think I can get more for it, and I could hear him in the background. He's like, we gotta get it sold, and they accepted the 730, and we closed within like 3 weeks. So buyers are really, really happy with that one. But yeah, so that was Napoli Run, and then Old Creek Court, this lovely home, the Kiowa floor plan with Neil Communities in Parish in Canoe Creek. This one was listed at 765. It's nearly a 3,000 square foot, 1-story home, 3-car garage, very modern, beautiful pool. This really was a lovely home, and we got this one under contract for 750, 7,500. So listed at 765, and we bought it for 750, 7,500. This was one of those listings where it hit the market, and I thought, oh, that's a great home, that will go really quickly. And then a week later, it was still on the market, and buyers are like, wow, why do you think this hasn't sold yet? And I'm like, well, they are still building in the neighborhood. So if they're still building in the community, those homes typically don't sell as well because you can build the same home for around the same price and you can customize it exactly how you want it. But I thought this was a really great home, and honestly, if this had been listed like now in December, because inventory is super low right now, I think this would have gone for higher than 765, this home right now. So yeah, buyers were from Chicago, lovely family. They were so happy, their first home in Florida. So that was that one. And then we have taken on a wonderful new buyer's agent by the name of Dawn. She's fantastic. She's helping in the sense that her and I can partner up on deals, and if I'm not in an area, she can go and show a home and we can work on a contract together. I've really kind of this year realised that I just cannot do it all, you know, so it's got to a stage where I'm really happy to have another agent or two on board where they can show homes in my absence if I'm on a walkthrough, if I'm not in that part of you know, of the county or whatever, then they can show homes and we can partner up on them. So Dawn did fantastically well. We got this home under contract in Bradenton in Copperleaf on Autumn Leaf Way. This one was listed at 719. Now we did get under contract for this at 725. However, it appraised a lot lower, in the 680, 690 range, and we have come across some lower appraisals where there's been a big gap, and some of them justified, some not. But we did come to terms at 709, so the buyer came out of pocket for this one, and we kind of, you know, she bought the home for 15,000 less than the original asking price, and didn't have to come out of pocket for the whole amount. So we came to terms and negotiated on that one. So yeah, that was that one in Bradenton. She also helped this wonderful family from California in Apollo Beach back in Waterset on Paradiso Drive. This one was listed at 709,900 and Super Dawn got it under contract for 690. We could kind of sense the motivation with the sellers on that one. I said, look, let's do it at 690, and we got it under contract and it appraised fine. So this is a really another beautiful bigger one-story home. This is the Key West with Homes by West Bay, beautiful lot in a really great neighborhood in Apollo Beach. Now this one here, Pike Lake Drive, this is some investors that we're working with from Georgia. They flipped a lot of homes over the time and they've held on to a lot of homes and done really well with Florida real estate. And this one was listed at 319 and we offered 345 with an escalation clause going up to we offered 319 and the escalation clause went up to 345, but we got under contract for it at like 339. There was like 15 offers on this home, so we did absolutely brilliantly with that one, and that's going to be rented out very, very soon. And then lastly, this home here, Mossy Timber Trail in Valrico. This was listed at 644,500, and we pounced on it right away. Dawn showed this one within like an hour or two. The buyers already loved the neighborhood at Twin Lakes there, and we got it under contract for 644,500 just by being super proactive. So that is our that concludes our buyer transactions over the past few months. So I hope that gives you a really good idea of you know, the situations we've been in. Yes, there's been many multiple offer situations, but there's also been some where the sellers have been super greedy and come down and down and down, and we sense the opportunity. So I hope that gives you a bit of encouragement if you're still looking to be here in 2022. But I'm just going to quickly now run through some homes that we missed out on, because there have been a few of those, and this first one here, I hope this one doesn't discourage you, because this is a super unique home, and I mean really unique. This was in Bradenton. It was a one-story home at like 1,000 square feet, had tons of charm, but it attracted a ton of investors, and it was listed at like 300,000. My buyer, cash buyer, made a $368,000 offer, and we still missed out on it. But apparently there was like 30 offers, and I'm really waiting to see how much this sold for. I think it's going to be closer to 400,000 personally, but a home that had just tons of charm, and for an Airbnb, it would have been absolutely ideal. Great location, very close to the Manatee River and the river walk in Bradenton. So yeah, we missed out on that one pretty dismally. But this other one, Prima Drive in Bradenton, I did show you this on my previous video on Esplanade. This one was just a real low blow, but 675 was the asking price. We pretty much came to terms at 690, had a verbal agreement in place. The negotiations followed on the following day, and there was these like built-in units and cabinets that kind of came with the home, and some conveyed, some didn't. By the time we ran through this super long list, another offer came in at 703,000 and just knocked us out of the water. So, and they could close within 10 days, which we couldn't do. So yeah, I was really amazed by this one. This is a one-story, 1,800 square feet home, no pool, no view. You know, the square feet price was going to be super high on this one. It was very, very nicely appointed, but I was really surprised how much this one sold for. Buyers were super disappointed, but we got under contract within a couple of weeks for a better home, in my opinion. Much better value and potential. Moving on to this one, Ironbridge Drive in Venice. Now, I tell you, there are certain homes where I come across and I just know they're overpriced. And this was like a week ago. Inventory is super, super low at the moment. Lower than I've ever seen it. It truly is. But there's, I do anticipate a lot more listings coming in January after the holidays. We personally have a lot of listings coming in January because people are just waiting for the holiday season to pass, which is understandable. But this home was listed at 1.185. So it's $185,000 over $1 million. We made an offer at 1,050, 50,000 over $1 million, and it was rejected, and they went with a higher offer. This was a lovely home, showed really, really well, but it wasn't on the golf course. This is a Sarasota National golf course in Venice, and the comps just did not support. There'd never been a home that had sold for more than $1 million in this community. And I said to my buyer, look, I think we're going too high. And look, he wasn't too disappointed in missing out, but these sellers are just super greedy. I mean, it was listed at 1.25 million. It came down to 1.185, and our offer was over anyway. I mean, our offer was what I would consider to be too high. And if I see a home that is priced too high, I will absolutely tell you that I think it's too high. So always be assured with that. But yeah, the other thing with this one is that it was listed in December and it was being rented out until the 1st of April. So even if you did pay over the odds for the home, you would have to wait basically 4 months, three months or so to get in the home. Those are the homes that I'm very content walking away from, and I will always advise my buyers to walk away from them. So missed out on that one. Buyer's still looking, but I feel we're going to get somewhere in January, and he does have a lease in place until April, so we're not in a super rush. So this one was Summer Haven Drive. This one was listed at 240. It's only 1,100 square feet. This is for the same investors that got under contract for that previous home that I showed you on Pike Lake, but this one was like 1,182 square feet, listed at 240. We made an offer at 230 and it sold at 240. For such a small home, I didn't advise the buyers go any higher. It was nice. They did a good job with it, and it had great rental potential, but I just thought going any higher was just too high. So we missed out on that one. And then lastly, this home in Parish. This home just showed, it really didn't show well whatsoever. I mean, the sellers just did nothing to make this home clean or presentable. There was just shoes left everywhere, and they just left the house as if they were just going out shopping, like nobody was there to preview it. This one was listed at 500. We made an offer at 490 at the time, and the sellers weren't happy with that. So this wasn't really one where we missed out on, but we made an offer at 490 because the inventory was low, and we could see the potential that the home had. It was on a nice view. It had a 3-car garage. But yeah, we made an offer at 490 and it ended up selling at 480. So goes to show that and this was like 3 months later. It goes to show that after all that time, they started to come down in price, and they could have sold it for more, but their greed got the better of them. So that is the resale market. And look, I know I'm going over my 20 minutes that I said I would do this video in, but there's a lot of information to cram in. Moving forward, I do see a lot more inventory coming in 2022. Yes, the market is still super hot, but in certain neighborhoods and in certain areas, it's certainly not as hot as others. It just depends where you're looking and what type of home you're looking for. We do have myself and my agents. We're on standby, and if you need to see a home that day, we will pretty much accommodate it. It's got to the stage where I just cannot do everything myself, but we've got an awesome team here to help you if you're looking for a resale home, and you can see all the success we've had and where we've missed out. We haven't missed out too much, but it never feels good when you do miss out on a home, and inevitably we always get there a couple of weeks later, or the next house or whatever. The market itself, I don't see things changing drastically anytime soon. I'm still getting a lot of inquiries for people looking to move here, which is great. But obviously some people are a lot more motivated than others, or need to be here a lot sooner than others. If the interest rate goes up, I think things will start cooling down. But not to the extent where we're going to see a crash or anything like that. I mean, obviously we can never foresee what's going to happen. I mean, obviously, like, look at COVID. I mean, nobody could have ever have anticipated that one. But while the rental amounts have still gone up and up and up, and they're increasing all the time, seeing it with apartments and single family homes, while they are still increasing, and as long as there isn't a mass exodus of Florida, which I truly don't see, I just don't see the market dipping anything too severe. I really don't. So that's my real estate market update for 2021. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I will be back for another market update on new construction homes, which will be less lengthy than this one. I'm really just going to show you how things have been with the new construction homes that I've worked with lately, what the delays are, and how things may change in 2022, what the bidding situation is, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I hope this was helpful and informative. And as always, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me and you want to support the channel, and reach out. All of my contact information is below. If you have any questions, you know where I am. Thanks again, and have a wonderful Christmas.